some form of outside pressure. What or who has ushered modern society into this new normal? What if all of Western society has been hacked to profit a few at the expense of the many? And what if you didn't even know you'd been hacked? Hack is a word with a relatively short history in our modern lexicon, and with a fluid meaning. The first reference to a hack was at a meeting of the MIT, my alma mater, Model Railroad Club in 1955. At that time, hack meant a prank, whose perpetrators demonstrated style, resourcefulness, and whimsy in its performance. Stealing a car is a felony offense. Stealing a Boston Police Department vehicle, disassembling it, carrying each piece up 5 floors, and then reassembling it at the top of the Great Dome of MIT, complete with a life-size policeman mannequin and a box of donuts in the front seat. Now that's a hack. More recently, Silicon Valley types stole the word to denote clever solutions to difficult problems, known as white hat hacking. Yet black hat hacking dates back to 1963, when an unauthorized hacker remotely commandeered the MIT mainframe computer. As computers became more interconnected and more technologically advanced, less whimsical people started to create viruses to infect other computers, and hacking took on a much more ominous and sinister tone. As we all learned from the 2016 election debacle, today's computer hacking encompasses 3 steps. Step 1 is phishing, with a P, where a seemingly benign yet imperative email message with a disguised zip file or URL is sent to an unsuspecting victim. If the message is clicked, that computer is rendered vulnerable and the hacker can gain entry. Step 2 is the insertion of some form of malicious code into the victim's computer. Depending on the goals of the hacker, step 3 is the hijacking of something. For instance, the materials stored in the computer's memory, like Democratic National Committee emails, which is then transferred to the hacker, who can then use it to humiliate or blackmail, or the computer's executable files in order to hold the computer for ransom, or even the victim's hard drive, which can be crashed and erased, the ultimate in malevolence. You say, well, that's computers. What does this have to do with the human body or brain? How about everything? While human hacking does not occur via computer code, there are many ways to tinker with the human brain. Certainly drugs can do the tampering. How about cleverly disguised messages, disinformation, propaganda, and the newest method of tampering, fake news? Can these messages act like phishing? And what if one of these messages gains hold? Can these alter your brain? Or how about something as innocuous as food? All the above. In this book, I'm going to develop separate and parallel scientific, cultural, historical, economic, and social arguments that our minds have been hacked. I will also demonstrate that this hack, the systematic confusion and conflation of the concepts and definitions of pleasure and happiness, has been inserted into the limbic system, emotional part, of our brains, thereby precipitating a slow-motion crash of a substantial percentage, somewhere between 25 and 50%, of individuals, and exacting a severe detrimental impact on our whole society. I will also demonstrate that this hack wasn't accidental, but in fact has been a plot. That is, the hack was not just to create mischief. Rather, it was specifically designed and engineered with a profit motive. And similar to the Russian hack of the 2016 presidential election, this plot has been and continues to be executed by private interests with governmental support. In order to convince the listener of each of these arguments, I will first lay out, in simple terms, the neuroscience of each of these 2 otherwise positive emotions, how they can sometimes appear similar, but more importantly, how they differ, what underlies our experience of each one, and how they influence each other. I will then explain how the business community and government have taken advantage of this neuroscience to hack our decision-making capacity and alter our level of individual and collective well-being. But fear not. even though